Last week on the Poisonrana Patreon, we talked all about the best WWE matches of CM Punk in a brand new episode of Best Match Ever.
He hits a sit-out pile driver. I remember screaming when I watched this the first time. This is a banned move in WWE.
Even Michael Cole on commentary, like, whoa,
yeah,
what's he doing?
Punk did tweet out that he got in trouble, like, took some shit, but he's like, they're a load of crybabies. But I think it goes to show, like, we see pile drivers on, like, AEW or the Indies all the time, but when it's, like, protected or banned, it gave this so much impact.
It got a shockwave, Get this show plus NXT retro reviews, wrestling reviews, movie reviews, and so much more over at patreon.com/Poisonrana, and it's only $5, so what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking these things as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. We are live
on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, Postmarks.
Hello, Postmarks, NXT friends. We are your NXT friends. It is January 2nd. It is a whole new year.
2024.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Evil. As we're here to talk all about NXT New Year's Evil in full 2024. See, I'm already messing it up, man. It's gonna be a rough one. It always takes me about
It's been a rough one so far, to be honest. My new year has been kind of evil thus far.
Yeah, you know what? 2 days into the year, I think next year's gonna be my year. Next year's gonna be my year. This year I've already fucked it up.
Oh boy, yeah.
We both went to a New Year's Eve wedding on New Year's Eve this past Sunday, and for the last 2 days, we've both realized that hangovers in your 30s are a lot different than hangovers in your 20s.
I had to go to work the next morning.
I don't know
after
how.
this.
I give you all the praise.
I don't remember the last few hours of the night. Boy, this has been a 2-day hangover, but what a way to get over it than talk about some wrestling and all the news and everything going on in the world of wrestling.
That's right. Hashtag dry January.
Oh, yeah. Dry January, dry February.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Never drinking again.
Oh, boy.
But it was a good time. Shout out Tay and Aiden who got hitched.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we had a fun New Year's Eve, but we're here 2 days into the new year to talk about some wrestling. There's a whole lot going on in the world of wrestling. This past weekend, there was AEW World's End. We did do a whole show reviewing it, talking about that show, talking about all the outcomes, some of the stuff on the pay-per-view. Obviously, some news about Chris Jericho that the internet likes to talk about. We did a whole show on Sunday. Check out Poisonrana. Search that in your podcast app or YouTube to check out all this stuff and our thoughts on World's End, because it was not my favorite AEW pay-per-view, but I'm looking forward to the new year and seeing kind of where they go with a lot of stuff. And I think they'll do well. I know they'll do well. Hopefully.
They'll bounce back.
Yeah, exactly.
And there were, like, I think overall the show was kind of down, but there was still some, like, the last 3 matches I thought were pretty strong of the pay-per-view. Just, like, overall, like, it took a while to get going, I definitely thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Like me this year, really.
It's going to take a while for us to get going. How are your holidays?
It was good. Yeah. Had some people over on Christmas Day. That was fun. We did all our special Christmas shows that you can find in our archives. We did our Christmas party.
That was
which was so much fun. Go and check that out. It is on the Poisonrana feed.
Like, we've never tried certain like games on a podcast. It obviously works better with video. So obviously say check out the YouTube replay, but there is audio up for all patrons. But we tried Party Quirks, which is like an improv game, but featured wrestling. Maddie Edwards from Grapple just stealing the show.
I think Maddie and Nate were definitely the best at that. It was just
so very funny. We had so many other party games. So if you did miss it, definitely look out for the replay. It'll help you out. It was like 4 hours of just us hanging out, different guests all in the post, and
so much fun.
Poisonrana
Definitely
community.
do that again sometime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So check that out. We were guests on the Grapple hangout party just a few days ago as well. So shout out those guys again. But then we did a behind the BDE for World Champs. We did a
Martin Bushby did Big Fat Quiz of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
So test your knowledge. I know my tag team partner's getting heat right now because people suggesting that maybe he's a fraud. He's a fraud, that he's been cheating. I don't know. I defend him.
I look at it of two things. I want to believe that like he genuinely would not cheat. Like
what's the point?
Yeah, he would genuinely not cheat. However, he did get some things right that like, really? So you be the judge and check out the replay of the Big Fat Wrestling Quiz of the Year 2023. And I mean, you did to not give things away, but you did walk out as champions.
I mean, that is giving things away.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
No.
But yeah, did he cheat is the big question.
Did he cheat?
But it's made us think that we got to put the BDE title on the line in the near future.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Frank's got to face maybe the winner of like some sort of eliminator between you, Brandon, Maddie, and maybe Benno.
Yeah,
I think would be the
fatal 4-way.
Yeah, and the winner faces Frank on like a live party stream or something. So Frank, get ready. Someday we'll be telling you because he's on the Roman schedule.
Yeah,
that title.
He deserves it at this point. You may have also heard at the beginning of this show, we did put out our best match ever, CM Punk, from his WWE run. We've been getting quite a bit of positive feedback on this one so far, taking a look at his first run in WWE with some great matches, the series against Cena, The Undertaker at WrestleMania,
Brock
Lesnar, a whole lot there.
The Gulf of Mexico, Chavo Guerrero. You know, we talked a little bit about our favorite Punk moments through like his entire WWE run, even including ECW. Yes, so that was a lot of fun looking out at the best of CM Punk, and maybe one day we'll have a look at the best of Punk from outside the WWE. But this was a fun show to look back and make me remember why I was a big fan, why everyone was a big fan of him, because like he used to be the voice of the voiceless, and now he's the voice of I don't know, the machine.
I guess so. Yeah.
So that was a fun show that we did all over on the Patreon. This week is a great show coming up for some patrons. It's been
since the birth of our Patreon that we've been on this NXT journey.
Yeah, for you real NXT friends out there, we do a show called Was Next, where maybe once or twice a month on our Patreon, we do a show where we look at a retro NXT episode. And we've been going since the beginning. And we've been through the beginning of 2014. And well, this week we are finally at the first, don't call it takeover quite yet, but the NXT Arrival from 2014.
The very first live event to ever happen on the network. And we're going to be joined by our two WOSN experts, Chris Price and Anne-Marie, who have been on this journey with us. So we thought we'd invite them along to chat all about NXT Arrival.
Yeah, these two have become friends of the show. They're longtime supporters and listeners, and they always write in on Was Next. They always give their feedback and opinion. So we thought, why not have them on to join us for this epic arrival? And we've never talked about this show on a podcast before, so can't wait to look at that.
Dallas, Adrian Neville
ladder match,
Sami Zayn, Cesaro.
I mean that's the one everyone wants to hear us talk about. So looking forward to rewatching that for sure. So that will be out later this week on the Patreon. We are recording on Thursday, so get any feedback in. I posted on the Facebook and Patreon page as well. So that's going to be a fun show to look forward to. And I mean, since everyone wants to talk about the Iron Claw, I think it's only right that we also talk about the Iron Claw and a bit of the Von Erichs and the Von Erich family. So next week, we are going to record a special best match ever / Poisonrana profile / dark side of the ring review, because we are going to just full on talk about and give thoughts on the Von Erich family, the Iron Claw movie that we both now have seen. Man, that Ric Flair, he's now defending himself. He's like, hey, I thought I did a good job. Screw you.
Oh, good for him.
He couldn't even woo. You couldn't even woo. You wooed worse than Charlotte. I don't know how this guy got cast as Ric Flair. But yeah, we'll talk about the Von Erich, Zac Efron, all that stuff. And would love any feedback on that. I'll probably post it in the next little while. So we'll have to look at some matches to talk about. But it's also just a bit of whole discussion about the movie itself as well, which I really enjoyed.
And again, coming up on our Poisonrana free feed this Sunday, we'll be going live with Poisonrana at 3 p.m. We'll be talking a bit about Wrestle Kingdom, a bit about AEW, but we will also be giving away part 1 of Best Match Ever 2023. Please, if you haven't already, go to our Facebook page. The short list is there, 30 matches. Give us your top 10, and we'll be compiling our top 10, and we'll be giving away part 10 to 6 for free this Sunday, and then part 2 will be next week.
Yeah, this is a show that we've been doing for the past few years, again, since our Patreon started, and basically we go through the top 10 as voted through our whole Poisonrana community, and we go through the top 10 matches, and this is like such a fun show to nerd out about over the wrestling, because we know how all of us fans get picky about lists and best of and all that stuff. So it'll be a ton of fun. So yeah, the first half of it will be free on Patreon on Sunday. On the YouTube on Sunday, like you said. But then we will be recording a part 2 later in the week. So
youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. But if that's not all, if you're not interested in football at all, this Sunday's great. Just hang out with us all day, because then 8 p.m. on this feed, youtube.com/postwrestling, we will be joining John and Way for the best of and worst of 2023.
Will we be joining Way? I don't know if we will be
somehow.
Yeah,
virtually, maybe.
Virtually?
Yes.
Get better soon, Way. First time getting COVID.
Yeah.
I heard on Review of Raw. Damn. Rewind of Raw there. Damn. Hope he's okay. And selfishly, we were looking forward to seeing him on Sunday. So maybe, knock on wood, he gets healthy before, and we can maybe still see him. So
hopefully he'll pull through, unlike Ilja Dragunov tonight.
Exactly. I hope Way's all right though, and we will be doing a best and worst of show with them. I think it's patrons get the links. I don't think they go live right away for everyone. I could be mistaken.
I think I might be wrong. I thought we were going live and then it's available to patrons the next day.
I think it's live for patrons and then available to everyone the next
day. Perfect. Well, listen to John and Way.
Yeah, we'll send out a link to all our patrons as well if you will be so inclined. But we will be recording our best and worst of. And I started my list today.
Oh, yeah?
Started compiling, started thinking, looking back. So I would love any recommendations. Help me make my list. If something crosses your mind, like Braden, you don't remember this worst segment, please send it to me.
We've destroyed far too many brain cells this year, so we need little nudges to remind us what happened.
It's far easier coming up with best, because you just think, what did I like the most out of this? What wrestlers did I like? What matches, pay-per-views, all that stuff. That's kind of easy and very you get to pick your own opinions and stuff. When it comes to worst of, I try to remove it from my memory, and sometimes I genuinely forget until I go, oh yeah, that was awful. So definitely would love some recommendations for things, because I'm compiling my list and I'm like, oh yeah, I have some things that I remember, like Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
he's not the devil.
Is that the best or the worst? Like it was great.
Yeah,
what a moment.
I have to say, we were talking to Way briefly, and we said that, hey, we're looking at the list. We want to add some things. I think I want to add best botch / best botch / funniest moment of the year.
Just the Shane McMahon
and
Awards.
I think it's just to give to Shane McMahon for that WrestleMania appearance. But looking forward to the best of stuff. So yeah, follow our socials for everything, because we're going to be doing this best match ever show where we will be going through, and I'm having a tough time picking like different things, but I'm getting there and I'm excited.
Final podcast to plug as well is, as always, on our Poisonrana feed. Thursday, Shot in the Dark with John Cena as he runs down all the wrestling you might have missed in the last week in 15 minutes or less.
You know what you might have missed this week, Davie?
What's that?
Santana Garrett showing up on WoW.
Oh.
Everyone wondered, where was she? Not she's not in WWE. She's just quietly
She left
disappeared.
a while ago, didn't she?
Yeah, but she just disappeared. Well, she showed up back on WoW, where she started from. Wow.
And you can also support Sino by buying one of his t-shirts, mugs, hats, whatever, or support your boys at Poisonrana at chopped-tees.com.
Yes, go check us out. We got so much merch. I love all the people sending us your photos. Thank you.
Keep them
sending
coming.
them. Yeah, I love it so much. And we can't say thanks enough for supporting us, because we are small-time creators. And hey, this will help pay the bills.
And
so, thank you.
Big announcement from President Dickey of Chopped Tees.
Oh,
shipping is free.
yes.
Whether you're in the UK, Australia, Canada, the US, and select parts of Europe, shipping is absolutely free. So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Get yourself a nice shirt or mug. Support those Ambros from Eagles Don't Hunt Flies. Support us.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the different designs I can do with Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse. Just put the logo and our names on it.
What, like Ricky Steamboat Willie?
I saw that one
Yeah,
today. Yeah,
okay.
that was pretty good. But yeah, public domain. All the Peter Pan also became public domain. We could make a movie.
Trick Steamboat Willie?
Trick Steamboat Willie. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty good. Put quick. Put it on his shirt. Whoop that Steamboat Willie. Trick. Wait, I messed that up.
Yes.
Yeah, Chop-Tees for all our merch. There is a lot of other stuff kind of going on before we get into New Year's Evil, which I swear we will. But we did miss last week's episode of NXT. And as an awful podcast host, I didn't realize I didn't watch it until literally getting ready.
It's been a busy week.
So I was like, yeah, like Christmas, Boxing Day. I was seeing family. I was trying to do multiple things. I did some Vietnamese gambling over the holidays. I won some money.
Nice.
You know, I was busy. So I actually didn't watch. So quickly before NXT today, I was like looking up stuff.
Yeah, I think the main things that spring to my mind were obviously the main event was the NXT Underground match with Dijak and Eddie Thorpe, which was pretty fun. I think they've kind of made that concept work now since it moved away from being Raw Underground. But the big one for me and for us is Briggs and Jensen splitting up, and Fallon Henley. They've decided to go their separate ways. Exactly. Not like it was any animosity or anything. It was kind of Jensen looking at Briggs and being like, hey, have a feeling you want to push to be a single star, so go for it. And they all say they love each other, and Fallon's off on her singles run now. So yeah, I'm pleased they did it this way, because I think when the time of like call-ups comes around, I think they work as a unit, and you can always put them back together, and you don't need to do the awkward thing of having a blood feud between these two or three and then just having them make up and be friends again. So I think it's a good idea. Have them all on a bit of a singles run. I definitely see Fallon going for the title at some point as well. And I think it will be good for Jensen, who's improved so much since the beginning of 2.0 to where he is now. So see him to try and break through as a single star as well. But yeah, that was kind of the big stuff.
I did check that out. You gave me the heads up to watch that promo between them, the three of them, and then kind of leaving him in the middle and then kind of walks off. Yeah, you know what? I think he's someone that could be turned into like a star. Like he's got now going for the old school Brad Armstrong retro like wrestler kind of vibe. I think he's going to try to go for less cowboy kind of thing. Cowboy wrestler, Stan Hansen type wannabe, but he's only like early 20s, right? Jensen.
I think the potential's there. Like we've seen how much like these guys were so wooden when 2.0 started, and I just think they come across really naturally. Yeah, the three of them actually.
Yeah, they've all found their mojo for sure. And you know, like something we should mention: Charlie Dempsey being overseas right now for AJ.
That's tonight.
I think. Yeah. Like that. Jensen is someone who could be going over there and doing that kind of stuff as well. I could see that because, like, I think it's something he would want to do because I see his socials. He likes his all Japan.
He seems to like his all Japan.
Yeah. So I think he could be going around learn how to become a hoss over there. So I know I missed that last week, but I also missed Kota Ibushi today.
Yeah.
I saw some of those clips, man. I was definitely feeling a type of ways. Broken ankle,
and then worked for like 20 minutes
broke his
on it
other
or
ankle?
something.
I
Did a
don't know. What
moonsault on the broken ankle.
It looked bad, man. He needs to go away for a long time.
Yeah, look, we've been set. He was away for almost 2 years before he made his return last year, and we've been saying in his matches in AEW he didn't quite look himself, and here obviously working completely banged up. Just hope the guy recovers and looks after himself. And we've known him for years. He's for so long he's been the guy that doesn't age at all, and has looked the same forever. And then suddenly just it seems to have all kind of caught up with him now. So just hope he rests and looks after himself, and don't push yourself.
He's been someone who's been doing like insane things and pushing his body to the next levels. And I think maybe it's kind of coming back and biting him a little bit. And he doesn't look the same as he was a few years ago. And we all saw that especially in his AEW kind of showings. But to see this, it's like, okay, you're injured now, heal up. And if coming back to wrestling is something that you need to do, like come back, but come back when you're ready. Don't come back and get hurt again and do all this, over the top nonsense. Cause like as fans, we watch this guy for years. It's like, bro, you how many times you watch that MSG match? His whole feud with Naito is about who can break each other's neck. Yeah, exactly. When it cuts to me and you like screaming at MSG when he lands on his head, it's like he's been doing like fucked up stuff. So
forever.
It's like, man, we love you and you entertain us, but like we do see it. And that was a little heartbreaking seeing some of that footage. I swear we'll get into it. There are actually some other things I want to mention. Mustafa Ali. He's a free agent. We haven't really talked about that. This guy is going to be like going on the indie tour all over. It looks like he's doing all over the States, over like in Europe as well. Up here in Canada, we're going to have a chance to see him. I believe it's January 18th at Demand Lucha. And I mean, this is just a match simply made for us. We've been raving about Gringo Loco over there. Jack Cartwheel recently beating him in a ladder match. Instead of now the third time, they've just added Ali into the match to make it a triple threat match. So that one's going to be
that's going to be crazy.
So we'll definitely be seeing anyone out there. So Demand Lucha on the 18th of January. Can't wait because that's absolutely crazy. I'm wondering where he lands. He's going to do a bunch of these GCW like events, and
I feel we'll see him maybe for 6 months or so. Kind of just do this, like work wherever he wants to work. I do think just AEW is so full of talent. Yeah. Like we were saying in our review about how many people kind of show up, they do a few matches and then vanish forever. So I don't know if that's the best landing spot permanently. Would I like to see him come in and do some like one shots against certain people? Absolutely. But I kind of rather just see him like be a bit of an indie star right now and work everything.
Yeah. Show up in your GCWs, maybe Impact once in a while. Speaking of Impact, they posted something yesterday in a video promoting their Hard to Kill pay-per-view. And the promotion for the pay-per-view, actually, I should correct myself. The promotion for what they're calling Hard to Kill, the premium live event.
Oh, yeah.
It's making me a little like detective work here that Triple H has this big announcement on Thursday.
Right.
And Thursday is when Impact airs.
Okay.
And they also say they kind of changed the way they're promoting the big signing.
Right.
Now they're saying you'll never guess who's showing up.
Okay.
I'm just putting out there in the Juju world. Is there some sort of like way TNA has been like not scooped up, but like maybe part of something going forward with like streaming and stuff like that? Because I am interested in this promotion of them saying, hey, watch this 2024 preview on Thursday with Triple H giving it. It's very rare they do the Tony Khan Triple H thing. Like Triple H just all of a sudden will say, hey, I got something.
Yeah, they've done it a couple of times recently with Triple H coming out on TV. But yeah, I've no idea. This is Thursday doing the announcement.
Yeah, they promoted it on this show, but I just like either TNA is just like, fuck it, pay-per-views aren't called that anymore. We're just going to steal the name too. But I'm like, did they not just catch like that's a trademark thing? So I don't know. I could be totally talking out my ass, but I'm trying to connect dots. I'm like, is there something going on between that or something? So that could happen. Or it could just be like Triple H being like, hey, Australia, I fucking booked The Rock. It's happening.
Yeah, like maybe if like you might not be having like how often are we going to have The Rock? We should get into that, I guess. But,
Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
I
mean, again, NXT coming soon, but I had to check out the segment from Raw last night, which featured this great tease from Triple H the day or two before, former WWE champion. The internet obviously putting the things together. The Rock wasn't far away. Nick Khan creeping in the background. We knew he was going to show up, but Jinder Mahal comes out. The audible like sigh.
Oh, the sigh was fantastic.
He cuts this like cookie cutter heel promo, kept saying shut up. Finally The Rock comes out. Wow. Like The Rock basically talks for like 20 minutes and then finally it's like the last sentence of what he says is really like what has
Shall I eat in a booth? Shall I eat at the bar? Or shall I eat head of the table?
Right. And somewhere Cody's like, fuck.
Yeah, so like do you see it as I mean, you can't really announce the match before Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it could potentially not be for the title, you know?
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean...
So you're saying thing is...
Yeah, you're right, because the winner of this Friday's match faces Roman, right? I'm assuming it's Randy versus Roman at the Rumble. That's kind of a big match for that pay-per-view stadium. But... yeah, like The Rock saying, you'd imagine they do go to this match. They realized, hey, we should have done it last year. We didn't, but maybe they want to do it. Like people are saying Elimination Chamber, but does The Rock work any other show other than WrestleMania?
I mean, it's a huge stadium.
It's
in Australia. Like it's this TKO era now, like potentially.
It sounds crazy. And like, if that's the case, then you could still go for Cody v Roman, or are we just like, nah, Cody faces Roman at the Chamber, loses? Because like, really, you gotta feel for the Codester, because it's like, wait a second,
story can always finish next year.
WrestleMania.
I mean,
45.
I do think if you have got The Rock, you kind of have to do the match.
You got to do that.
I think so. As much as like people have been calling this match before Cody was even back in the company.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand the criticism. People going like, "Oh, Dwayne coming back." It's such a huge match, and if it's on, like, if the potential is in front of you, you've got to take it. You've got to do it, and I'm sure Cody Roman will be a better technical match. But man, what we're going, I'd fucking love to see The Rock v Roman. Just the spectacle of it.
Yeah, like there's definitely two ways you look at it. Like the cynical wrestling fan that won't get a high rating on my cage match. Well, it's like, yeah, probably not. But the spectacle, the people screaming, it's The Rock. Like
I was technically there for Rock's last match.
That's right.
Eric Rowan. Yeah.
So you can't wait to see his next match, his return. Yeah, like it's the best. It's literally the biggest thing, because I know people didn't like Black Adam. Hell, I don't like a lot of his movies, which he brought up Baywatch, saying like, oh, I love all The Rock's movies. Maybe Baywatch. This past summer, we aired it at work. Not his worst movie.
Right.
He's got a few stinkers ahead of that one, I'd say. And Zac Efron's in that one too. But The Rock v Roman. Is that what they're just going to go for Mania? Is there something?
Unless it's at Chamber. Yeah, I think you've got
like, there's a few different things you could do. But like, imagine it's Rock Roman at Mania. What do you do with Cody?
You find something else for him to do. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So
I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to pause for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back, guys. We've never done this, but I'm so sorry. And we're back. Sorry.
Talking about The Rock, I smell what Davie's
Oh,
cooking.
my word. Yeah. Again, hangovers in your 30s.
I think that's the first time we've
I
stopped.
think it's the first time.
We're slipping. Eh? Last week was the first Up Next. We never did a show.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get anyone to fill in. We just said we're skipping. And then today you're like, oh my God, you said your stomach was hurting before the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I mean, if you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah. I mean, we've done it on like recorded shows where we just give the look, but it normally comes as we get to feedback and we see the other person sweating.
Like, wrap up. Yeah, it happens to me a lot.
Well, let's see how the rest of it goes. But yes, Cody's opponent for Mania.
Yeah. We'll have to see what's in store for Cody and the title and this and that. But you got to do
fuck it. Steve Austin.
For Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough, but like easily Seth Punk night one, right? Like that's
or just to fuck Punk. You do Roman Rock at Chamber and then Rock Seth at Mania.
Rock Seth. Oh man.
Just so Punk doesn't get his main event.
I don't know if we need to see like
Dwayne comes in and takes his main event once again.
Like the dude's still massive.
Chris Leone in the chat brings up a point. Cody Okada.
Oh, right. We forgot about Okada.
Cody MJF.
Okay. Now we're okay. No. Cody, we were talking about Okada, but I think he's staying with his boy El Presidente in New Japan.
Okay. Yeah. Like after this show they're about to put on. Like,
I mean, I don't know. That's tough. You know what? That'd be sick if it was. We were talking about that weeks ago. Like, oh, that would be a sick match to do that. But just The Rock, like the last time I'm thinking back to is like, what was the last time he really wrestled? Like the Cena match? Where he like ruined his body, like meat came off the bone kind of thing, right? So him doing that elbow, he was pretty gassed.
Yeah, he was
on Monday. So I don't know if he could do a whole match.
It's going to be a lot of walking around. It's going to be a lot of yelling.
Yeah,
I'm head of the table. There'll be a spear through the barricade. Like it's fine. Like and the crowd will be going crazy. Yeah,
people love it. So,
yeah,
I'd say do it if they had the opportunity to, because it's just like The Rock. Like he's famous. Everyone knows
the match is happening. It's like it's got to be for them to be doing that tease so explicitly on TV. It's got to be happening. It's just where and when.
Yeah, maybe he'll show up in the Rumble, Final Four, CM Punk, The Rock, Gunther,
and Cody,
Brock Lesnar.
This Rumble,
this Rumble is going to
be pretty great.
This Rumble could be stacked. The only thing they need to do for this Rumble to make it even better is finally pull the trigger. Finally do it. What the people have been waiting for and wanting. Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman needs to come back. The Lethal Weapon. Think Tampa would lose their goddamn mind.
Tampa.
That's where the Rumble is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We need Steve. Yeah.
It'd be sick.
Who else do we want?
I swear we'll talk about NXT, but if you are in the Toronto area and you want to watch the Royal Rumble, hear it here first before we even put up the event page. We are hosting the Royal Rumble party at our home base, Gabby's King Street West.
Yes.
And this time, oh boy, it's going to be a Rumble in the dot.
We've already had so many people asking about when we're doing it. Please keep your eyes on socials. These are hopefully going on sale tomorrow by the end of the week at the very latest. So get your tickets. There's only limited space to watch this, and I think it's going to be a sellout, as all of our events are.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be rammed. Everyone's already asking. We're going to have the Royal Rumble shot. You don't know what you get. It could be a lemon drop. It could be Fireball. It could be Henny. Who knows? The Royal Rumble is going to be nuts. We might even play some Rumble games.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. So, yeah, maybe The Rock will show up at that event.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she shows up.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Exactly. Yeah. So much happening.
Wrestling's crazy right now.
Well, shall we maybe go into NXT and then at the end, if I'm still alive, do some preview for Wrestle Kingdom?
Sure. Yeah. I also have some not best and worst of, but kind of just NXT kind of a year of some names. They did a list last week on TV, so I went and got that, and we can talk about that too. But it's a new year, new you, new us. Let's talk about New Year's Evil as we kick off from Tuesday, January the 2nd, 2024. we start off with our NXT Women's Championship match. The champion, Lyra Valkyria, taking on the Gothic Charisma. Blair Davenport, the Iron Survivor Challenge winner here, getting her cash in against the champion. I love Lyra's theme that has the wooing. The crowd starts to do it a lot more. I think by the time she gets to the main roster, this will like be really loud and explosive. I think I didn't kind of realize it.
They've been doing it for a while, but it's like the bird. Woo!
Woo! Yeah, exactly. Better than the Ric Flair.
Better than the Ric Flair. Woo.
We get some chain wrestling from the two of them early on here as they keep counter. Eventually, there's a huge double stomp from Blair off the top that sends Lyra face first. I screamed watching this.
Yeah, ref was very quick in checking on her. This looked pretty nasty, but Lyra seemed okay. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, wow, what a spot. So then Blair just continues to bully her and kick her around in the face. We get Kelly Kincaid update. Is that her?
That's her name? Yeah.
They keep mentioning that she's got an update on someone after this match as it continues. Lyra comes back, though, with this leg trap German, and then they're climbing up top, and Blair hits her with this huge avalanche Falcon arrow, but Lyra rolls out in the last second. They're then fighting around ringside when Lyra just fires up and sends her into the table. They're then back in the ring when they're countering each other, and Lyra hits her with the Samoan driver, or what do we call him, the bird bomb?
Falcon driver.
Falcon driver. For the 1, 2, 3, and Lyra Valkyria, and still NXT Women's Champion in a pretty fun match. And my only negative thing would be that I was actually getting into it that I wished it didn't end so quickly.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised. It like wet my whistle.
Yeah,
but I was expecting a bit more from this. I think Blair, especially, I think needed to look a bit more dominant in this match, and I thought Lyra. I felt like this could be a feud you could have maybe done a couple of matches of, but it already seems like from something later in the show, Blair's moving on. Like strong, clean win from Valkyria here, which I actually found quite surprising. But some good spots. I think both are definitely two of your best women in the division. Lyra's fantastic, I think. But yeah, I was expecting maybe a bit more dominance from Blair Davenport, even into defeat.
Yeah, like she hit that cool stomp, and then she's being vicious when she like kicks her around in the head. But I felt like the more of that, and then kind of the upset win. But still, pretty good. Probably my favorite match on this show. And again, just kind of wish it went longer, considering Blair had to do that whole 25-minute match to get to this one.
Yeah, it just felt a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking she was going to win it. But
no, but I could have seen like more of a match and maybe a DQ finish that leads to another match or something. But it seems they're moving in a different direction.
Yeah, I think Lyra, I can't wait to see what she can do in the main roster because she's definitely one of the better workers. But Blair does show some good wrestling as well. So I did like this match. After this, there's a beatdown. Lola Vice comes out. Runs into the ring with her breakout tournament contract. If you remember, she won the tournament, therefore she gets a title match. And she's yelling at the ref like, hey, I want to cash this in. And Tatum Paxley stops her. She jumps out of the crowd because she's been stalking the champion and kind of stops and saves Lyra from Lola and Elektra here. So they weren't able to cash in.
I imagine we're getting a tag match in the next week or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tatum Paxley playing this sort of super fangirl / stalker
in a Freddy Krueger
top, but is looking out for Lyra. So
yeah, a very kill switch Christian Cage, Adam Copeland here with the contract that can cash in at any time.
Absolutely
right. So that's not going to happen. We get an update on Ilja Dragunov, and they're saying that he will actually not compete tonight in the championship match against Trick Williams. So the match is called off, and until he is cleared, the match will come back, but they'll keep us updated.
Yeah, I thought this was all a little weird. You had the face-to-face last week. Like, this is a worked injury, isn't it? It's not like, as far as I'm aware, Ilja isn't legitimately injured. Seem maybe they just changed their mind. Like, I thought we might be seeing Trick win the title tonight, potentially, because Ilja is, like, hurt. Injured and hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe just creatively they went against it. It felt kind of odd to advertise this main event and for one of their, like, branded shows and pull it away.
Yeah, very strange. I actually like a bit of a letdown,
considering
that's the big match on this show, and there really isn't any other ones after that. Like we just had.
Well, like it said, this would have been the other main event, wouldn't it? So, I did find it a bit odd, and all I can think is maybe they're like, let's like they're trying to pace it out till Vengeance Day is their next big show. So, yeah, I don't know. Was a little disappointed with that.
Me too. We go to the LWO. They come out. They have a match against the, let me get this right, Quarter Catch Crew.
No Quarter Catch Crew.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's the No Quarter Catch Crew?
No Quarter Catch Crew.
The no... Okay.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. So the LWO, unfortunately, Dragon Lee tweeted out like a day or two ago that due to visa issues, he could not leave Mexico and come back in time for this match that he was scheduled for. So someone would be taking his place representing the LWO. And of course, the internet and myself went, well, hey, that other guy's done with the other company, so I hope it's Andrade.
Putting out his like farewell to AEW note today and all that.
I'm like, it is NXT. He's been a champion here. And out comes Carlito.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, look, I was torn. I really wanted Andrade, but the fan of 2005 WWE was really happy. But then instantly the happiness just disappeared because I realized that they had changed Carlito's theme song.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not a bad theme. It's just his other one was pretty good. So
I think obviously Andrade's probably showing up at some point, but I'd imagine main roster is where you debut him and not NXT. But Carlito he was taken out with an injury before the last pay-per-view. Nice little surprise here. And this crowd, you can put anyone out there who's main roster and they'll lose their mind. And they were certainly giving respect to Carlito.
Someone went, holy shit,
my God.
it's Carlito. What? Wow. I wish Jesus was with him still, but yeah. I do see Andrade showing up in WWE very, very soon and can't wait for him to be used properly. Him with Santos could be fucking like legendary, so can't wait for that. Well, Carlito's here with the LWO taking on the No Quarter Catch Crew, and there is no quarters here tonight. There's then the LWO kind of beating down on all these guys, and they send them to the outside. And it seems like the No Quarter Catch Crew, like I said, want no quarters here. They go, we're done, we're leaving. And they walk up the ramp here. And I mean, if you're someone who doesn't usually watch NXT, you probably already have or have to check out this clip where Carlito and Del Toro hold the ropes back on the apron facing like the ramp while Joaquin Wilde is in the middle, like balancing on the ropes. And as they pull them back, it's like Spider-Man almost. They let go, launching Wilde into the air, and this man flew. This was Superman.
It was almost like, when two people are on a trampoline and one person jumps in a way to send the other one spring. He went, I've never seen someone go as high as this.
Like in Spider-Man, when he goes and then pulls back and flies. This was incredible.
It looked amazing. And the trust, because if these guys didn't catch him, like that is dangerous. But absolutely go and watch the GIF of this on Twitter or whatever. It looked awesome.
They've replayed it a whole bunch, and each time, the first time made me jump out of my seat because it's just the visual where they zoom out. It's like he went very far.
Yeah,
like he was launched there. So coming soon to an indie fed near you, this spot will be stolen all month long because it just looks so good. But wow, Joaquin Wilde showing up here, that was very impressive. Well, back in the ring, eventually the No Quarter Catch Crew gained the advantage. They're tagging in and out here. I should mention Dempsey, obviously not here because he's in Japan.
Yes, so this was Gulak, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne.
Yeah. So Kemp is tagging in and out. They're beating down on Wilde here. Eventually, they tag in and out. There's Germans. Eventually, he tags Carlito. He comes in with the hot tag, or should I say the cool tag. He's in there, and he grabs an apple out of his pants or pocket, and he's trying to use it on someone, but he doesn't quite use it yet. Eventually, Wilde hits this crazy corkscrew twister. Wilde just woke up today and chose violence. He wanted to just impress everyone, and boy, did he do that. Like, this guy hitting this corkscrew twister to everyone was insane. Del Toro gets the tag. He's up top. 450 splash. 1, 2, 3. And the LWO Liv Moss here tonight on NXT in a fun little match. But I mean, that spot alone had my attention. And the Carlito didn't really do too much in the match until right after, where he takes the bite of the apple and spits it in Gulak's face because Gulak is not cool.
Really, really fun match, actually. We've been following Cruz, Del Toro, Joaquin Wilde for years. The artist formerly known as Raul Mendoza won our enhancement talent of the year for 3 years straight.
We named the award after him, and then they changed his name to Del Toro.
But these guys always show up. Whenever they're having tags in NXT, it's always fun. I'm glad they're in such a good spot right now in the main roster with this LWO thing, which is really cooking. Would love to see them get like a proper good like tag title run down the line. But yeah, I thought this was really fun. I enjoy No Quarter Catch Crew as well. I think Kemp, like obviously Gulak is great at the sort of technical wrestling. Kemp, I really enjoy watching as well. Just that sort of, like amateur wrestling, Kurt Angle / Creed Brothers sort of style, just throwing people around with suplexes. I almost feel at this point it's probably for the best for him that he hasn't got the Stevenson name, because there has been a bit of stink around with Gable Stevenson, who's kind of quietly just disappeared from NXT. And I think Kemp shows way more promise than we ever saw with his brother. So I'd like to see him. I'd like to see this group actually get a win as well, because I think we keep putting Gulak with these people doing like, all right, we're the real wrestlers, and they just lose. I'd like to see them get a bit more legitimate.
I'd see Charlie Dempsey as their main guy. I'd see them, like, after watching him just a few times, I'm like, okay, clearly you're the one.
Future Triple Crown winner.
Charlie Dempsey. Hopefully. Is it tonight? Is it right now? I think it's tomorrow.
I think it's early in the morning.
I hope he wins. Take a real Triple Crown championship to the United States. He is someone I can't wait to see. I keep saying it. He's the one to retire Dragon. He's the one to retire Bryan Danielson when it happens. Regal's kid. But who was that guy? Tavion Heights. He should be like tangling with these guys. He should be in this group, because that guy he had like one match on TV, and I was like,
actually, him and Kemp as a tag team would be pretty good.
But I do like this team as well, and obviously the LWO hot characters. But so happy to see these guys like.
I imagine we'll see some formation of the No Quarter Catch Crew in the Dusty Classic, which they announce a bit later.
Yeah,
I wonder if we see Joaquin and Cruz stick around for that at all, or whether this is just a one and done sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe they could be busy with the LWO on the main roster. But that was pretty fun. And again, that Wilde spot was indeed wild. DJZ, who would have thought? The guy who created the ROH logo.
He is, yeah.
Never forget. Trick and Mello are backstage. Mello a little pissed off, obviously, because his championship match is off tonight.
Trick's pissed.
Sorry, Trick is pissed off. And Mello's like, hey, don't worry about it. When Grayson Waller walks in and he kind of starts running his mouth, Trick says, naysayer, please, and shuts him up. And they kind of say, like, Mello's like, this could be a blessing. And kind of almost, I mean, Waller and Mello are boys in real life, but like almost like Waller saying like, hey, you're lucky, because like Ilja would have just, killed you, would have destroyed you. Don't worry, like count this as a blessing. And Mello and him start going back and forth, and Waller says, yeah, I used to be here, but now I'm on SmackDown, and I don't wrestle, losers like you. I wrestle legends. And Mello says, yeah, well, face him. And if you do face him, Trick will put his #1 contendership on the line. And Trick's like, whoa, what? And Waller says, you got yourself a deal, and walks out the room. And
so why was Waller there? Because Waller showed up and said, yeah, I don't wrestle here. I wrestle on SmackDown. All right, well, shouldn't you be making your way to Vancouver then?
He's in cahoots then with Mello.
Right.
Clearly, right? Like, I know Mello beat him on SmackDown like last week or something, but like there's got to be some reason there.
They're also playing up that Waller was the first Iron Survivor winner, and Trick being like the current Iron Survivor winner. So,
so battle of the Iron Survivor winners tonight.
So, like, if this had just been announced like a week or so ago, I'd have been fine with it. But just
to replace what we thought.
to replace Ilja with Waller. Like, and I don't mind Waller, but
Yeah.
it just felt this was meant to feel like a big episode, and it just felt like a normal one where this is your main event. But continuing sort of the tension between Mello and Trick here.
Yeah, we'll see another segment between them later, which obviously Trick would be pissed off at this for Mello kind of making decisions for him. We get a video for the Breakout tournament finals tonight. Riley Osborne, he's the Chase U, the British guy in Chase U who does the shooting star for us.
Yeah.
The British Evan Bourne. I thought this video did not do him justice. It's literally him in the dark in the classroom writing notes while like his audio plays over and he's like, I need to win this. This is my, and I comparing this to the one they play for Oba Femi later, it was like night and day on who they actually cared about.
Yeah, they're trying to just build up this Thea Hale romance with him, but I can't see there's been anything that stuck out being memorable with him. And part of me almost kind of would have preferred Lexis King to be in the final just for Obafemi to murder him.
Wouldn't that make way more sense? Like the way they booked this tournament actually is kind of like, I get you wanted to get someone over, but the way they kind of did it was strange because I don't think you helped Trey Bearhill by taking him out. I don't think you've helped this guy because now he's just literally a geek who's in school. We'll talk about it.
That means he's got a story, like it's more than some.
Well, like that's what I'm like the other guys where I'm like, whoa, these guys are pretty impressive. Like Riley Osborne does have something for sure, but I was like, okay, you're literally just the Chase U like side character, which Chase U is a side like faction kind of thing. We get a recap of Roxanne and Arianna Grace when Roxanne like slapped her. So this match was set up. Grace just keeps running her mouth. She thinks she's like Miss Universe and Miss Nicey, but she's actually kind of mean. So Roxy's going to put her place. Roxy's been a bit of a mean streak lately because she's so upset about life and everything. She's going through a phase, right? This Roxanne like character. And right away during this match, like judo throws Grace and then slaps her again like she did. And then Grace does come back. She drops Roxy and hits a guillotine into the ropes and starts putting the boots to her, gaining some offense. Eventually, though, Roxanne comes back. She fires up. She's acting all angry. She hits a drop kick to the face, eventually hits the pop rocks, and it is all over. After the match, Grace kind of yells at her, so Roxy drops her, just starts putting the beats on her, punching her all around. The ref tries to stop her. More refs get involved. They pull Roxanne off her as the ref goes over and tells the ring announcer to reverse the decision. Therefore, by disqualification, Arianna Grace defeats Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne is even more angry. She's so like she's agitated. Ago.
And I imagine maybe you see, because the whole thing building into this was Arianna Grace saying wins and losses don't matter. And now it's been reversed. So she's got the win. So I'm pretty sure the follow-up will be how important a win is from Arianna Grace. Just playing it up. I love Arianna Grace's character work. I think she's just got it down. The wrestling isn't bad, but haven't seen anything like exceptional from her yet. Roxanne obviously very solid. It seems like she's going through a bit of transition. It feels like they might be giving her a bit of the I'm crazy gimmick moving forward. A lot of people online as well comparing how she was dressed quite like AJ Lee as well, and maybe we'll be channeling a similar kind of character as AJ.
That's just because they've been hanging out with Punk. So it's like, I got to support AJ Lee, get her back. She's someone who could show up in the Rumble.
I think so.
She's been posting some things. She could be back. But I think they'll rematch it. But you're right. Arianna next week has to cut this promo like, I beat Roxanne. Like I should be getting a title shot or something like that. And that pisses off Roxanne even more. And then we'll get a no DQ, a beauty pageant
Devil's
match,
street fight,
this congeniality match, something like that. Good movie. What happens next? Well, Ava Raine, my favorite here. She comes out of Sean's office. Where's Sean, you ask? Not here, but Ava Raine is. And she's asked about, Kelly asks, what's going on with Ilja?
With Ilja first.
Don't worry, it's coming. She goes, it was a tough decision, but he will defend the championship when he's clear. And then Kelly's like, okay, cool. But yo, Ava, what the fuck's going on with this? Are you the GM or like, please explain what's going on? And Ava says, look, it's clear Shawn Michaels needs help in handling a bunch of things. And I have a unique relationship with a lot of the stars here in NXT. And I have my own ideas, some of them good, some of them not, but we'll see, including starting with next week, the Dusty Rhodes Classic returns, the tag team tournament. And then she kind of walked
She
off.
did say as well that a wise man told her to talk to Shawn, which if you remember the big beefed up NXT when we had The Undertaker and Cena and Paul Heyman, there was a scene between Heyman and Ava. And
I mean, what did Paul say to her?
She's part of the family, isn't she?
What did Paul say to her? Paul either said, yo, tell your deadbeat dad he ain't got a shot in Australia against the champion. Or, hey, you kind of suck. Why don't you just be the GM?
And get some acting lessons. Yeah, it's bizarre. Like,
I think she's regressed. I don't know. I think she sounds really bad on the mic.
She there's just not much charisma there for me, which is just so bizarre considering
it sucks
who her
when
dad
you
is.
I mean it's to compare to your, still people are going to compare your dad's the fucking Rock. So
and it seems a very deliberate move to get her out of the ring, and I'm sure training a lot more, and that obviously the daughter of the Rock you would hope is going to be like they would hope is going to be something down the line. So putting her in this role to hopefully maybe get her more comfortable with the like sports entertainment side of it, speaking and all that, but she's really not good at the moment.
At least they've explained now. It's been way too long.
It's been too long.
Just been the
and
first
like
thing.
I love that Kelly Kincaid was just like, what the fuck's going on?
What's going on here? Why are
you were in a cult and now
you're a kid,
just
of all.
Shawn's like assistant? What's happening here?
The Rock's daughter.
Yeah.
Wow. So kind of assistant GM now.
Yes.
Officially. Shawn's never outright and said it. Imagine she just like comes out of Shawn. She knows he's not there. Oh yeah, Shawn said this. It's like, is there proof of this? Do you actually work here?
She's just put like Shawn Michaels' name on like a closet door. It's not even his office. She just.
You think she's seen Baywatch?
Her
dad's in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you watch your dad's films. A lot of people say, yeah, my kids don't watch my stuff, don't they?
I'd watch. If my parents were like in movies, I'd watch their movies.
Yeah.
If you were in movies, I'd watch your movies.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Come on. All the time. Got you. If anyone out there is in movies, send them to me. I'll watch your movies. Wait. Never mind. We go to Tiffany Stratton, a video where she's calling out Fallon Henley for their match later up. And Tiff says, if I'm winning this, then you will be my servant. And trust me, you're made to serve people like me. So yes, we are getting a classic, good old fashioned loser becomes the winner's servant.
Yeah.
Match.
Servant or ranch hand.
We see Blair walking backstage. She's beat up from her loss earlier when Nikita kind of comes up behind her and scares her and says, see, I could have attacked you like you did to me, but I'm not low like you. And instead I'll beat you in the ring. And Blair says, oh yeah, well, you should have attacked me from behind because that's the only way you'd get me down. And then they start to scuffle and they're kind of pulled apart. And for a second there, we thought we saw Dan Matha, but I don't think it was him.
Yeah, who was that?
Not Dan Matha,
No.
but someone. Dan Matha with a disguise.
Was it Oni?
No,
No,
it wasn't Oni.
Okay.
Someone else.
Yeah, so we're moving forward with Nikita and Blair.
Fair enough. She attacked
how
her.
far off is Sol Ruka? And like Wendy Chu?
Yeah.
Because there's a few people with legitimate injuries that Blair like took out in stories. So that could be Blair's next like whole story is going through each one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did feel like Blair kind of just looked weaker here after just losing quite convincingly and then being like, oh, well, I can take you too and stuff. But
yeah, because you imagine Nikita wins that feud too.
Yeah.
She just come back. But yeah, where is Sol Ruka? Come back, Sol. NXT needs Sol. All right, well, it's Tiffany versus Fallon. Like we said, loser becomes a servant, a ranch hand, if you will, and great stuff. Fallon coming out on her own. She has got like, I'm pretty sure we've heard it before, but this like country rap theme song.
That's cool.
I kind of liked it. And I like Tiff's theme as well. So this match starts off with Fallon, right as the bell rings, attacks Tiffany here. She's fired up since she was humiliated with the mop and the garbage. So she's attacking Tiff here. Eventually, though, Tiff grabs her by the hair and throws her face first into the ring post off the apron. That looked pretty good. And then does her cartwheel into the Alabama slam into the apron as well. I love this move where she like cartwheels into the move to hit her with it. Very impressive. During picture-in-picture, it's Tiff who's kind of in control, putting the brakes off of Fallon, just beating her down. When they come back, there's an inverted sling blade bulldog from Fallon, which looked pretty cool. Tiff goes for her "you can't escape" fireman's carry, but it's countered into a crucifix bomb from Fallon, which looked nice as well. When she runs the rope, she's caught into a spine buster from Tiff, and then Tiff is fed up, so she goes for her moonsault and misses it, almost landing on Fallon.
She lands on her feet, but is like inches away from Fallon's face,
Looked
which
great.
could have been nasty.
It could have been really
good.
bad, but looked really good. Tiff's pissed, eventually goes to grab a chair into the ring, and the ref sees it and goes to grab it out of her hands. And as he does, kind of distracting Tiff, Fallon runs at Stratton, hits the Shining Wizard. Looks pretty good. The shiniest wizard.
I think it's shinier than
Might be a little shinier.
Tegan's. Looked very
Because
shiny.
she's always polishing it
Yeah,
off with
right.
that rag. 1, 2, 3. Fallon Henley beats Tiffany Stratton. Therefore, Tiffany must be Fallon's servant and or ranch hand. As after the match, Tiffany kind of follows Fallon to the back as she's celebrating, and Tiffany's like, "No, I can't do this. Like, I'm rich, I'm beautiful. I can't be anyone's servant." So, cannot wait for the promos and vignettes.
The only thing I think is a shame is they said it's only for one day. And I thought these are vignettes you could probably have fun with for a couple of weeks.
Right.
These are two of my favorite women in the division.
In the company.
Company there. I think Fallon has really started to step up recently, or maybe they've just been allowing her to kind of get some wins under her belt. I think this is way more fun having Tiffany, the daddy's little princess, daddy's little rich girl.
Yeah.
Like, shoveling some horse poop and stuff for the next week. Do you see these two potentially being a tag team moving forward? I could see if they do a women's Dusty Classic, these two pairing up.
Sure, that could be a fun program, and then go back into
and I think you could have Tiffany slowly start to become a bit more of a baby face.
Okay,
like maybe kind of enjoys getting rough and dirty and stuff. And
I like the match a lot. I think again there's a bigger match in between these two, especially down the line in WWE. We'll see these two. They have good chemistry. It all stems from when Fallon dressed up like her. I was like, oh, okay, these two know each other pretty well. They're probably friends for all we know. But love this going in. Like, it's so silly. Wrestling is so ridiculous that the loser has to become the.
It's such a wrestling thing, though, and I'm like, and when they announced this last week, it's like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Like, it makes more sense for the babyface to be the servant, but in this case, no, because Fallon's gonna either take her to the bar, make her like become a server, or like wash toilet, or like do all sorts of things that she doesn't do.
Gonna do a load of dirty stuff.
But then they said ranch hand, so the better visuals would be like have her on the farm, getting dirty,
shoveling poop.
Yeah, like birthing a cow. Like I want to see the real.
I can see her like
farm stuff.
Like being all like, I don't want to do this, and then like a week or so later, her showing up, and Fallon's like, no, it was only a day thing. And she's like, no, I want to do this.
I want to help the farm or something. Yeah, I could see her like liking. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, wait till we see this vignette.
Put some money into that bar.
Tiff just helps save the bar. The bar's been saved, I think.
Yeah.
But top shelf.
Gallus. Gallus moved into town.
Yeah, great. I can't wait. So servant, ranch hands, wrestling. Better than all the other stuff you watch because it's wrestling. It gets better tonight. Braun Breaker is backstage when Baron Corbin comes in wearing a nice leather jacket. He says, hey, the Dusty Classic is returning next week, and I was wondering if you'd be my partner, says Corbin. Braun just laughs at him and says, absolutely not. He says, why do you even want to do that? Who cares? Get out of here. And Baron says, look, you're an a-hole and I'm an a-hole. So like, think about it. Like, can't you see it? Like, together we could like take over and destroy people. Could destroy everyone. And Braun's like, maybe you're onto something, and kind of pieces it together. Like, maybe. And Corbin says, well, once you're done with your 10th coat of Tanner, maybe you could win something. And then they do agree that they will be a tag team in the Dusty Classic.
So the assholes, that's the
A-holes.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, works great for them.
It gives Bron something to do when he's not in the kind of title picture, I guess. But I do feel now Bron is kind of treading water in NXT.
But think about it. There's no room for him right now.
There's no room right now.
He's got to show up post-Mania.
Raw after Mania, something like that.
Yeah.
So sure, why not? Have him have a little tag run for now with Corbs.
Yeah, exactly. Until he's going to have a better write-off here with maybe another big singles thing before that. But tag team of a-holes coming soon. We get the video for Oba Femi in the finals of the Breakout tournament. He says Oba is a name that means power back in Nigeria where he's from. And he says he's the Nigerian giant of Africa. And after the NXT and great clips of like showing like way better than the video they showed for the other dude. They actually put time and money into this one. And the other one was like a dude in a classroom. I was like, okay, cool. I know who's winning this. Backstage, Gigi is with Cora. Sorry, she's with a bunch of, the side characters. When Cora Jade comes in and says, you're at my locker. If you remember when Cora returned, I think she took someone's locker back. I'm assuming, I guess this was Gigi's. And Gigi and her have this great stare off and promo battle of two of my least favorite talkers to watch on this show. And then they get a pull apart. So I imagine we're getting this match next week.
Yeah, I feel this could be going on for a little bit. These two.
These are two of my
former tag partners, weren't they? They came into the company together.
Oh, technically,
Before Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, Elena Black was Cora and Presley. What was her name?
Yeah, Priscilla
Presley. Yeah.
Priscilla
Priscilla Presley's. Yeah, sorry.
I'm kind of with you. I'm not really into either character, and I don't think either will lift each other up in ring wise either.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. We get a sit-down interview. Who is this interviewing, Ridge?
Sarah Schreiber.
Okay, she doesn't do too many things here on NXT.
She's
okay.
Just backstage.
I swear, since Mackenzie, I can't figure out who's who. I'm lost without Mackenzie.
Why? Yeah,
she was the best.
I liked Mackenzie.
These two. Don't get me wrong, they're
fine.
perfectly great,
yeah.
and I'm sure I'll love them even more after time goes on. But like Mackenzie was, she's right there. She's the heart, soul of NXT.
Right.
God. Ridge is being interviewed here. This was like a pre-tape segment. This was pretty good, actually. He says he's no stranger to injuries and mishaps here. He's had the fractured ankle, the knees, the dislocated kneecaps. That shows when Oni Lorcan took that dive and he caught him and just
but
exploded.
We saw the pictures here. Like dislocated knee and like snapped ankle, and these photos were quite
gruesome,
graphic. Yeah.
He says that I thought my whole career was over. He said, imagine coming over to the U.S., making my wife, leave her family. She was pregnant with my two boys, and that's when that happened. And I had to go home and tell her that, like, we had to go because it didn't work. But somehow I came back. And then he mentions his last injury last year at day one, where what happened in that match? He took
he broke his nose. I think Ricochet broke it.
Yeah, with like the flip into it. Yeah. So he's like, this is how I provide, but here I'm back, and I will provide for my family. I'll do whatever it takes. And he says he respects Ilja, but he's here to prove himself. He loves and respects the Brawling Brutes, but he wants to make a name for himself as well. And he'll do it one by one if he has to. So still not a fan of the whole trying to use the reality kind of non-kayfabe injury stuff. I don't like that. You could have worded it a bit differently to make it sound a whole lot more interesting, but I'll throw that all away because I thought this is the best he's ever sounded.
Yeah, I think this was a slight course correction.
Yeah.
I think this was great to just hear Ridge talk as a person, which we haven't really heard him much of. And I thought he sounded great. And bringing his history with his personal injuries and his family and stuff, it made me want to root for this guy. They didn't mention Big E. And the way he kind of worded it with Ilja was not like it wasn't like he botched and hurt him. It was more like, I've been injured like Ilja has been, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't quite make. I don't like the whole that, and they've been doing it with, Nia Jax on Raw as well, where you hurt people. It's like, yeah, kayfabe wise, you're meant to.
Yeah,
you're meant to
That's
win.
what I don't.
You're meant to hurt someone so you can.
Oh, we
win.
had a mishap. This guy got hurt, and I got hurt. But that's
yeah.
You walk out to the ring with a fucking baton and hit people.
I saw Undertaker throw Mankind off a cell. Like you're meant to try and hurt people.
Yeah, that's where I'm like.
So that's where it's like icky. But I didn't mind here, kind of leaning a little bit away from him hurting other people to just be like, I've had these like
could have just said I have
stops
bad luck.
and starts in my career. But I did think he sounded good. And I kind of want to root for this guy.
It made you want to root for him. Yeah. And will it turn into he wants a match with Ilja? Is that now where they're going? It's confusing because he kind of says I'll face anyone. So making it clear like he'll fight other people. But
it would have made more sense if he got injured in the match against Ilja.
But then
he faked his knee blowing out. So I'm
wondering if this goes into he turns heel, but then it's like, but Ilja's caught like tied up in things, and it's kind of weird that this is inserted while we're going on with the trick and mellow thing. And everything.
I don't see how it works turning him heel doing something like this. Yeah, this was kind of like we had with those Von Wagner vignettes in a way, just to make this guy feel a bit more human and make you empathize with this. Like brick house of a man.
Yeah. So like I liked it. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I don't want you right away to face Ilja again and be in that picture because you should be like working from the ground up. So we'll see what matches they throw it our way with Ridge the Fridge. We get a video from OTM. They're out the mud, but the video is somewhere in the streets. They're not shooting dice with Chase right now. They talk about Tony D and Stacks coming from their sides of the streets, but you don't know what we've been through. They talk about how not knowing where the next meal is, having acid in your stomach when you're sleeping. And he says that we've been starving and we're hungry and we got gold in our mouths, in our ears, and around our neck, but we need that gold around our waist. And then Script says that we've beat the streets, we beat the system, and now we're going to beat you, Tony D and the family, and become new tag champs next week. They're going to get out the mud.
I kind of could see them doing it, actually. Family seem to have kind of ran their course for me. But I don't think it helps that there aren't really clear challengers right now.
Yeah, the tag team division is in a bit of a like weird rut. But these guys definitely I don't find that they're there yet. Like I find that
in ring,
they're really like they haven't shown anything. So to give them the titles when there's so many teams ahead of them that I would like Idris and Malik.
But they have before with like think Authors of Pain and that kind of thing, like the big guys that can just don't have to do a great deal.
I don't mind their promos.
I like their presentation, I like ending it with scripts with Reggie, who's more polished. He feels kind of bringing it all together. But I didn't mind this. I think it probably is a good time for the Dusty Classic to kind of try and beef up this tag division. Yeah,
get some teams going for sure. We go to Kiana James and Izzy Dame.
Yes,
Izzy Dame. They talk about how when Izzy showed up, a lot of people out there were saying, who would do such a thing? Who would say who to someone they don't know? You should just learn to know who they are, right? Felt like she was talking to me. She called me an owl. She then says that she used to spike the ball in bitches' faces in volleyball. I guess she was an athlete.
She's tall, yeah.
Kiana says that 2023 was a good year, but this year's going to be even better. She pretty much steals Punk's line and says, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money, but I made my friends and we're going to make even more money. So 2024 is going to be our year.
It does feel weird now in NXT not having the women's tags, because you see, like I mentioned, like Tiffany and Fallon earlier, and then you see these two together. It's like, okay, but what can you do with them?
Yeah.
And we've occasionally had the women's champions come down to face them, but like we haven't had a title change yet.
Yeah.
Where the titles have been dropped to NXT.
Would the winners get a title shot to the other ones?
Yeah, so I kind of feel they are maybe missing those tag titles now.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they'll be doing something. These two,
Sure.
They'll be up to
Business.
no good. Yeah,
A lot of business.
Trick and Mello are backstage. Trick's getting ready for his match later tonight. You can see his new T-shirt in the background. Whoop that Trick. What is it, Trick? Oh man, I forgot what it says. It's one of his things.
Trick Steamboat Willie, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure. And he's pissed off at Mello, and he's like, "I can't believe you did that. Like, you didn't even ask me. You just like threw out this match, and now I have to put my contendership on the line against Grayson Waller. Like, that's not fair. I didn't like you doing that." I'm pretty angry at Mello. And I'm going to be out there with you, and we'll take care of it. And Trick is like, "No, actually, no, you won't." Just like I said last week and the week before that, and Iron Survivor, I don't want you out there with me. I got this all by myself, and I need to do this all by myself.
This is starting to get a bit repetitive
Yeah.
for me. I felt it really felt like treading water and doing the same things this week without having the Ilja match. I think it really needed that Ilja match to advance the story, whether it be Trick be champion or Mello costing him the championship or something. We've just seen for too long now this, I'll be there for you, man. No, I don't want you out there. I got to do this on my own. I can't keep riding your coattails. But I look out. Yeah, it's been a while now, and I've been enjoying the feud. I'm starting to get a little bit cold on it.
It's weird that they have injected Lexis King, the Ridge Holland thing, like all in the same span. It's like, no, just get to it. Do the turn already. And I wasn't expecting the turn tonight. I don't know why Dragunov isn't there. Kayfabe wise, they said he's injured, but like, is it also he wasn't back from vacation visa? I don't know. Like, it's just weird. It felt like this week was also a taped episode when it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree.
It felt like we're staggering because we don't have all the pieces to continue the stories just yet. And it's like, okay, so yeah, I agree. Even this storyline, which is the best thing they got going, is like, okay, well, you've already done this like a few times now.
Yeah.
What's the next step in the story? So, but I'm assuming we get this in a few weeks. Whether I thought the reveal will be tonight with the match.
Me too. I thought that was going to be the big New Year's Evil.
So as soon as the show kicks off and they're like, yeah, this match is happening, it's like, well, then what do you do? So maybe they are put in like pickle because I mean, we don't even get that match.
No.
So
I think we skipped over the Breakout tournament final.
I completely went past it.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely blew past that match. Well, let's go back and talk about it. Oba Femi versus Riley Osborne in the NXT Breakout tournament finals for 2024. We get Riley, who's in there. We see Thea Hale earlier, like pushed by JC to go, like, you got this. You go do that. And out comes Riley Osborne. Man, his entrance video almost gave me like a seizure or something. This can't be good. Someone's going to get hurt watching this. It made me feel really sick. It gave me a headache. You know what I'm talking about? It like follows this light tunnel and it just kept going and going. And like, I don't know, almost made me feel.
You smoked too much.
No, I didn't even smoke during this episode. I was like, whoa, this is like way too trippy. And like, I'm someone who doesn't. It
was like a red Doctor Who-esque vortex thing.
I'm just thinking of like someone who like might get, have triggers like, lights and visuals. This would be instantly.
It does remind us in commercial breaks. Program you're going to watch contains
this engine. This they got to change it. This is like this is bad. Like some kid's going to watch this and like freak out or something. But Riley with the crazy visuals, and then he's just a guy who's in school. Like I don't understand why that's his video, but his video should just be notepads. Riley taking on Oba Femi. And Oba is an absolute wall. Riley runs at him and just gets checked, and he flies across the ring, and he keeps trying to do moves, and Oba just like single-handedly is like throwing him around. He gets him on the outside, and Oba just chops the chest. It sounds like a gunshot. During picture-in-picture, Oba is like walking around, just beating him back. When we come back, he hits this spin-out backbreaker, and then another huge backbreaker. Like Riley's got no offense.
It was like a rock bottom on the knee. Like
Irish
it was
curse?
so high.
Yeah.
This backbreaker looked great.
And Oba is like huge compared to Riley Osborne here. Eventually he runs at Riley, but goes shoulder first into the post. Riley comes back with this standing twisting moonsault. It's legit the first move he's hit in the match, and then goes up top for the 450, but Oba kind of rolls. So Riley rolls to his feet and then nails Oba with a running kick, and then goes up top again for the shooting star. But as he goes for it, Oba gets the knees up, And then
his legs are so big that Osborne
sends
just
him
bounces off them.
flying. And then he picks him up for like what I can describe as like the proto bomb.
Yeah, kind of like the toss power bomb sort of thing.
Picks him up and just like, again, hoofs him across the ring here. And then picks him up again and then hits the pop-up power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi wins the breakout tournament. Riley looked great, like, flopping around for Oba here, but I didn't think he got literally anything in this. But what I got from this was Oba is someone that could be a big deal.
I don't think Osborne necessarily stands out in the crowd. Like, a lot of current wrestlers do moonsault, shooting star presses, flips, that kind of thing. And I don't think there's anything to me so far in this tournament that's really made him shine. The Chase U thing will give him a bit of character, so people do remember him going forwards. But it's Oba Femi who's impressive here. Like, just when they first kind of showed this guy in his vignettes, just tossing fridges over a field or stuff like that.
Monster.
This guy's huge, and I thought his big power moves looked impressive. I'm happy that they went with Oba Femi. So he wins his contract. Which title do you see him going for?
The North American? Wait, who's the North American?
Dragon Lee.
I guess that. Yeah.
I could see, and it's weird because of the stipulation, but I could just see him murdering Noam Dar.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I think a small chicken shit heel.
What a waste of that contract to go after that.
No, I know, but does it make sense for him to go against Ilja right now?
No.
Maybe not really. Dragon Lee is a big baby face. I think it's more fun just watching him just crush someone. And I think Noam Dar's maybe just thinking of the vignettes of Noam Dar like trying to get out of it and stuff.
Right.
Because I don't see the guy winning the world title, the NXT title right away.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But I am impressed by him. Out of the whole people in this, like him, he stood out. That Tavion Heights guy as well. But when we first saw this guy, like before this tournament, we were like, yo, this guy's huge.
And I mean, it's cliche, but eventually, like, just being the heavy for someone, like someone more established on a Raw or a SmackDown, like we've seen with Moss, but I think this guy can do more than that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like first few matches watching this guy, I'm already like, okay, I could watch. I can't wait to see what they do with him down the line, because if they don't fumble, if all goes right, this guy could be a big deal, I think. We go to JC Jane and Thea Hale. They're sad about Riley losing this match after, and Chase U shows up, Duke and Andre. Andre's still looking a bit beat up, disheveled. And JC...
When things are going bad, you just got to untuck your shirt and have your collar all out.
Yeah. And JC says that she's going to help Chase U get out of this rut, and it's all going to start with the tag team tournament, the Dusty Classic, and it's going to be Duke and Riley, and says that Chase isn't going to be in it. And Chase is a little like, whoa, why are you making all these decisions? And JC says, because I'm going to help. I'm going to bring Chase U back from the depths of hell and back to prominence, and then kind of walks off. So JC is going to save Chase U, and winning the Dusty tournament is going to help do that. So
they could be an early favorite.
Duke and Riley.
Duke and Riley.
Yeah. There we go.
In the final against the assholes.
Yeah, exactly. We see Lyra backstage with Tatum Paxley. Oh, I think this is like the same promo, but then the camera turns and then Tatum like pops out of nowhere because she's stalking Lyra. And she's like, hey, I'm just really happy that as long as you're champion, blah, blah, blah. And then kind of, I don't like when champions, especially baby faces, but especially champions, act scared.
Yeah. No, I
So
agree.
like Tatum Paxley shows up, says hi, because she came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden Lyra's supposed to like cower. It's just a human being next to you.
I don't know if she's cowering. I think it's more
She was
just
like, oh my God.
No, but I feel it's more
weird.
that this, when someone comes to talk to you and they're like way too close
talker,
and you're like, yo, like just give me some space.
Right.
I get that's more the feeling
Okay.
that they're going with, where like this
She was-
girl's always here and I don't know what her agenda
Like
is.
it wasn't quite Seth Rollins.
It wasn't
Fiend,
Seth
but
the
it was
Fiend,
it was
right.
on the way. It was up. It was on the scale because she was like, it's like, okay, like she saved you earlier. You should be happy. Give her a title shot. We see Axiom and Nathan Frazier backstage, and they're watching the episode of NXT. And Axiom asks Nathan Frazier who he thinks is going to win in the main event, Trick or Grayson. And Nathan says, I'm not saying anything. I'm not falling for that one again because the last time you asked me that, Ilja heard me and then beat the shit out of me. And I'm not doing that again. And then Axiom kind of says, we're kind of friends. We should just be a tag team because we could win in the Dusty tournament. And that's when they're like, yeah, we could be a good tag team. And they start to say like the tag teams, or Nathan Frazier starts to say the tag teams around here just aren't cutting it. And if you looked ever so slightly, Brooks Jensen is in the background, kind of watching them, listening, and then kind of shakes his head and like walks
he's just
off.
sad.
He doesn't have a tag team partner anymore. So he's like, and walks off depressed. But as Frazier's like running down the tag team division, he says they need a rebrand. Idris and Malik are there listening and hearing him. And then finally he turns around and goes, not again. And they say, we hope to see you in the Dusty Classic to kind of teach you some manners. So,
yeah, this one didn't land quite like the others because, Ilja can kill Fraser.
Yeah.
Braun can kill Fraser. And now you've got Sweater Vest. And
I mean, yeah, Malik's probably the tallest out of all these guys.
Yeah, but they're not the most intimidating lads in the locker room, are they? And I think Fraser even took it that way. He's like, yeah, all right, we'll have a match next week.
Yeah, you got the Sweater Vest. Idris is pretty jacked, but he's small. Then you got fucking Power Ranger, and then little mini Jesus here. It's like, there's a lot going on in this tag team division. But clearly, these two teams will face.
Yeah,
and that would be a high flying match.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Like Malik and Idris have just been doing the same thing for way too long.
They're kind of hot and cold on them. You have them featured for a while, and then they disappear.
Never forget. They've been good all these years.
They have been.
We see Tony D'Angelo and Stax, and who's this again? I'm going to ask this every damn week. Rizzo?
Well, this was the equivalent of the Ava Rain segment, because and the Izzy Dame segment is like, we've heard you go every week. Who? Sorry, who is this? Who's
so we
this
decided to explain.
So let me tell you who this girl is.
So they say Chase ain't off the hook just yet because he gave OTM the title opportunity, and that's why they have to put the titles on the line. Rizzo comes in.
Adriana,
Rizzo, yeah. She says,
Christopher.
Yeah, she's doing the best fake accent. It's so over the top. It's so ridiculous. I love it. She says, these guys out here flapping their gums like fish. They say that Rizzo's been the glue of the D'Angelo family, and finally she's going to have her chance to shine because Riz takes care of biz, says Stax. And as they're like going over to their car, their trunk pops open, and out pops out Joe Gacy, who's like, oh, hey, sorry. And they're like, what the hell are you doing in here? And they go, wait, what happened to the other guy in there? And Joe Gacy's like, well, you see, I thought you were taking him to, so I, never mind. And then kind of
Gacy says he took care of him. He threw him off the bridge.
Yeah, he's like,
Murdered.
Don't worry. So then runs away.
Yeah.
So they're like, anyways, they have a tag team match next week.
Yes.
Against OTM. What's going on with Joe Gacy?
You could have asked that same thing about 2 years ago. I don't know.
What's going on with that Joe Gacy? So every promo this week felt like it went into another thing. Like it started with some people and then went into someone else. So I had this Italian lady talking to me like fishes and all this, and then the psychopath gets out of a trunk and then on TV admits to murder.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Love NXT. Never change.
I mean, that's just what Gacy does now. Just appears under the ring in the crowd in trunks.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our main event, it's the Iron Survivors 1-on-1. And the winner gets the title opportunity. Trick putting it on the line against Grayson Waller. This was great here as Grayson Waller makes his entrance. He comes out. And Booker T's just going on one as per usual. And Vic Joseph says, Book, shut up. Your stick's coming up. And then Trick's music hits. And then it's whoop that Trick. What? And the crowd are super hype here for Trick Williams as they go one-on-one here. Trick is in control. He hits a series of moves on Grayson and hits his spinning neck breaker, the Goldberg neck breaker for a near fall. Trick starts hitting Waller with a series of chops, which I thought also looked pretty good. Eventually, though, Waller gains control as they go into commercial break. When we come back, Waller hits this pretty cool like reversal stomp out of the corner when Trick runs at him. I thought this was pretty innovative, but only a 2 count as well. Trick comes back with a series of like boxing strikes, which I thought actually looked pretty well. I keep forgetting if this guy has boxing background.
He had the boxing gimmick for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. He did, didn't he? With the spit bucket and everything.
Yeah.
So here he is, Tricky Balboa with these punches and then a flying clothesline. Waller, I haven't seen this in a while. Sorry, I don't watch SmackDown as much, but he goes for his out of the ring, into the ring stunner, but it's blocked into this huge uppercut from Trick, which looked great.
Like the pop-up uppercut.
Yeah, for a near fall. Eventually, they're fighting on the top rope, and Trick hits a avalanche bookend, which Book called it on finally. He's the bookend for a near fall. Eventually, Waller nails Trick, sends him down to the mat, goes outside the ring to only run back inside the ring to hit not the jumping stunner, but a jumping flatliner instead. See, he's switching it up.
He should have hit the stunner, though. He'd have won.
I mean, if you're already doing the roll to hit your finisher, why would you do the roll into a different move?
Well, I always say, why does Ishii hit a vertical suplex when he could just hit his brainbuster?
Yeah, or Jeff when he climbs up and it's like, I'll hit a splash.
I'll do something else instead.
But like your move is literally rolling into the ring to hit. Anyways, he goes
wrestling.
Yeah, he goes up top. He goes for his elbow drop, but misses. And then as Trick is setting up for something, Mello runs out and kind of distracts everyone, it seems.
Yeah.
And it looks like Waller is setting up for his stunner yet again while Trick is distracted by his own friend Mello. Kevin Owens shows up ringside, punches Waller in the face with what? The cast? Is he still rocking that thing?
Yeah, he's got the broken hand.
And sends him back in the ring, which allows Trick to hit the running big knee for the 1-2-3. And Trick Williams retains his number one contendership, beats Waller. And Mello's kind of looking a little like, oh, my plans didn't go.
He slowly holds up his shirt, his new shirt.
Yeah.
He's clapping, but he doesn't look too impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had been saying all throughout the night that a former NXT champion was going to be watching the main event. And obviously it's Kevin Owens who came out right at the end. Look, I thought this was fine. I think Trick, every time we see him, is just improving so much in the ring. Like the avalanche bookend looked pretty cool. I just felt like a bit disappointed. I feel New Year's Evil in the past has been a bit of a bigger show, and I agree with you. This did have that kind of taped feel to it, even though it wasn't. And yeah, I thought the Mellow distraction thing was kind of lazy.
Yeah.
I just need this to start progressing a bit more now. So the match was fine, but when it was like a replacement to something that I was actually really looking forward to, I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah, really, we were supposed to have an outcome of either Mello finally turning on Trick, costing him the title match, revealing, I attacked you, you shouldn't be champion, I'm the one who should be blah, 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 blah. Or he beats Ilja because Ilja was hurt last week, and then Trick is attacked by Mello. Like, the end game of tonight's episode should have been that.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it was completely like rewritten.
And maybe there's a legit reason why Ilya's not there, or they're kind of changing
but something
their creative
had
course.
to happen.
It just felt a little weird because
it felt very weird. So yeah, we were supposed to come out of this with hopefully a really good match between Trick and Dragunov and some sort of outcome, whether it was a title change or whether it was the turn or the reveal, if you will. We didn't get anything.
Especially you had this big sit-down segment between the two of them last week with Ilja taking off his neck brace and going like, whether I'm hurt or not, I'm going to face you. And then they're like, no, he's hurt. He's not wrestling. It just, yeah.
So are we...
Something, he's maybe stuck in
the big reveal.
Germany.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he stuck in Russia or something? Yeah. Where is this guy? So is it like we're now going to do this at the pay-per-view?
That's a month away. Maybe.
Like what? You're not going to do it next week randomly, right?
We haven't had a triple threat either, have we?
But I'd say that's a step down. I'd say Trick Dragunov, and again, he either beats him and Mello reveals he's the one and attacks him, or he costs him the match. Those are the only two.
It did feel very odd.
It felt strange, and I'm sure we'll find out by the time you listen to this. There was reasons to changes and plans change and all that stuff, but yeah, it felt like there was something off that they had to go with a different direction.
Yeah, I agree.
And bringing in Grayson Waller, one of my all-time favorites, definitely wasn't something that lifted up. But Still an okay episode. Honestly, the best match of the night was probably the opening match, but some of the wrestling was really good. The LWO match definitely was fun as well. Like nothing was, oh my God, you have to see this, but it wasn't a show that pissed me off.
No.
I mean, it kind of did with them switching things, but hey, it's wrestling. Things happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. And I imagine that, yeah, we do now stretch this out to the pay-per-view. Like it's a month, but
I guess, yeah.
so
I guess
get used to the Ismail. Like if you're Trick, kayfabe wise, Davie, like if you were like, hey, your title shot's now on the line against this guy, I'd be mad at you and would definitely start to question if you're the one who fucking attacked me.
Absolutely.
So kayfabe, they should treat Trick maybe not so dumb.
Yeah.
Have Trick be like, you know what? Stay away from me for
Yeah.
a little while because every time you're around me, things bad happen. But yeah, that was NXT. That's what we thought of it. Should we read some feedback?
Let's do it.
We have a Facebook page. Search Poisonrana on Facebook. Lead you to the Poisonrana Facebook group. Join that and join in on lots of the fun that we have, including feedback threads where we read your feedback here. I'll go to Manny from Pacoima. A solid episode of NXT tonight. I wish Lyra versus Blair could have been a bit longer. I think these two delivered a great match with more time if they had more time. Wilde flying in the air was just as crazy as his Aztec sideburns. Oba Femi is a star. I think he'll become NA champion, but wouldn't say no to a match with Ilja. I'm excited to see what the teams of Axiom and Frazier and Baron Breaker will do in the tournament. As a GG fan, I'm not looking forward to her match against her twin sister, Cora Jade Punk. Both still need a lot improvement, both in ring and on the mic. How are you a Punk fan, Cora? You can't cut a good promo. It's a New Year's evil. Yes, it is. Thank you, Manny.
Yeah, I'd say that about so many wrestlers, though.
What, your favorite wrestlers? You're
Like
not...
Ricochet being the biggest Rock fan and having zero charisma. And, well, the same with his daughter as well. But anyway. We go to Magan, who says, New Year's Evil didn't end with heartbreak that I was ready for. Instead, extending Trick's title chase to Vengeance Day is the right move. The Trick Mello split better stop simmering and crank up the gas and quick. I don't know what's going on with Roxy. The post-match angle reeks of some kind of character assassination. The six-man was fun with Joaquin putting on a show, and that slingshot spot was ill. Like my stomach. Women's title match was physical with good psychology, and Paxley saving Lyra from a Lola cash-in kept their story alive, and it'll be a hoot to see Tiffany get her hands dirty working for Fallon. Simple life, anyone?
Yes, Tiffany tweeted a photo of the Simple Life.
That's Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. Yeah.
So we'll see that next week, as we kind of said. The overalls, everything going on there. And then we go to Neil, our man Neil, who says, hello, guys, long-time listener. Happy New Year. Yes. Is this the first time?
Has Neil ever left feedback?
He has for other things. Maybe not NXT.
First time, long time?
I don't know if he's ever watched us on NXT before.
I didn't know he does. I didn't know he watched NXT.
I don't think he does. I think he just listens to us, but we love you, Neil. Neil writes in, Happy New Year. This was the first time I've watched NXT live in a very long time. I guess I should have read that first. Yeah. He continues, Ava Raine is really a terrible actor. She looked and sounded like she was reading the words off a cue card without understanding what they meant. Davie, what tips would you give her?
Acting lessons.
Watch Baywatch.
Yeah, I'd say acting lessons. I think, I don't know if they have that at the PC or just give them scripts and expect them to know. But, an acting coach, definitely. Improv lessons.
Wrestlers need actors. Like, you look at some of the best wrestlers, they clearly have had acting lessons or do acting lessons or try to do.
Cody, Jericho, Edge, Punk. They all have. Yeah.
Batista, all clearly. Yeah. But, all of them that are, successfully and, massive and huge and have that, they all take acting classes. So yeah.
And I mean, I don't know when they're handed the scripts, but learn it inside out, back to front, so you know exactly what you're saying.
And watch your dad's
films. You're not thinking overly about it. Yeah.
So
but also some people got it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, fine people, for writing in there. Again, join the Poisonrana Facebook group for feedback threads such as that. I have the list that they put out last week from NXT for their NXT awards, the year-end awards. Pretty straightforward here. I'll go through them because we didn't get to last week. Superstar of the year, Ilja Dragunov. I mean, he's had quite the year. The NXT match of the year, Carmelo Dragunov from No Mercy. I think I'd agree.
I'd say that. You know what? I really did enjoy the Men's Iron Survivor as well. I thought that was
Yeah.
a really fun match and just kind of different to everything else. So
Yeah.
they're the two that really stand out to me.
There was a few Dragunov TV matches that stood out this past year, especially some of the Creed brothers matches as well. That
Yeah.
like really stuck out. But anytime Dragunov wrestled, it felt way more special with way more weight to it. So I would agree that maybe it is that No Mercy match, but there were quite a few matches on NXT this year that were pretty good. But I'd say if Dragunov was in it, it would probably be that. Female superstar of the year, Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
fair.
I think especially with the feud with Becky,
Yeah.
really kind of made her, and she just feels like one of the top stars.
That was another big NXT match of the year, is that Tiff match with
Yeah.
Becky. So like the
I'd
Extreme
throw
Rules
that
one?
up there. Yeah, absolutely.
The no DQ one. Yeah, that was good. The NXT moment of the year. Now, you know, this is a WWE list. So what was the NXT moment of the year?
Oh, they probably put Undertaker.
It is
coming
the
out. No,
Undertaker
that's
coming out. That's exactly what they did.
ridiculous.
What would you say it would be?
I'd say something to do with Von Wagner.
Von Wagner
Talking
at the
about
dinner. That was pretty fucking
Yeah.
good. Von Wagner at the dinner was my moment of the year. Any of the Von Wagner promos were my NXT moment of the year. I think that's and tag team of the year, which Creed brothers. Yeah, they were running stuff here in NXT. So again, NXT, like it's such a weird show because you have someone like Dragunov, who's easily one of the best wrestlers on the planet, on the same show as some people who are wrestling their first match and like trying things for the first time. It's all like a little bit of a mixed bag, and you can watch this thing like we do every year and be like, oh, what was the best NXT match of the year? Like
I think there was a lot of I think Wesley this year, his whole open challenge thing he was doing, and the match with Dijak at Vengeance Day last year, I think that really stands out as one of the top matches of the year. I'd actually put Wes up there with Ilja. He's really carried this year, and it's such a shame how the year ended for him.
Yeah, that was quite a shame. I'm trying to think of other things that happened this year. I did enjoy. Was it Braun Breaker fought? I'm trying to remember. There was some good stuff this year. This year, I felt NXT got better than it was.
There was a lot of good TV matches as well. It's hard to remember it all.
Yeah, it really is. I'm trying to look stuff up, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. We had Noam Dar come back to NXT. We had Indy Hartwell became champion at one point.
Yeah,
right.
Was Mako Roxy this year as well. Well, last year, where she collapsed at the end of the match.
Oh yeah, that was this year. You know what? I loved when JC threw Gigi through the door.
True,
that was pretty good. She really put her in the door. And then Braun and Carmelo. Yeah, the rematch I think was the better match.
Yes,
I'd say so. There was some good stuff this year. Let us know. Did you have stuff that stood out from NXT this year, good or bad? Did we miss anything that you're screaming at us right now? What about this? We already mentioned Vaughn, so yeah. There you go. There's a little kind of NXT awards reminder that Sunday we will be doing our best and worst of all the wrestling, AEW, WWE, NXT, New Japan, everything we'll be chatting about with John and Wai, and that's always the fun time going through the best and worst of topics.
Do you want to quickly throw out some predictions for Wrestle Kingdom?
Yes.
I've got the list here.
Yeah, go for it.
To start with the New Japan Rambo to determine who will challenge for the provincial KOPW 2024 championship at New Year's Dash.
Oh, God.
Fuck it. Yano.
Is Eddie Kingston in it?
It would just win more stuff. Yeah. No idea. Then we've got the main show.
Is Cheeseburger in it?
War Dogs, Clark Connor and Driller Maloney versus Catch 22, TJP and Francesco Akira.
Now you're
the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship.
You're asking me who you think is going to win this match. I have a question for you. Do you even know who these people are?
I know two of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drilla Maloney sounds like a sick name. I'm gonna have to. Those guys are pretty. The War Dogs.
Yeah,
I could see those guys breaking out and being some stars there.
Oh, that's Dan Maloney. Okay, yeah,
they're pretty good.
Yeah, War Dogs retain, I guess. A match we've seen live: Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
The President is wrestling.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is for the television title, so this is what the 15-minute time limit.
Wow.
Match.
I wish Joe Biden wrestled in World Television Championship matches, but the real president does.
Yeah. Zach,
Yeah.
keep this run going.
Yeah, beat the Prez.
Yep.
Dead Prez.
Yoda Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura.
I'll go Yoda.
Yeah, I think Tsuji. I could see Tsuji
Pretty good.
winning the title this year.
This year?
I
Okay.
think so. I think they really need to shake things up, and I think he could take it from Naito at the next big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Shota Umino and Kaito Kiyomiya versus House of Torture.
This is fucked. Ren Narita joined House
Yeah.
of Torture, right? So, oh man, that's hilarious. I feel bad. I wish it was just Shota versus Ren on one-on-one match, but it's unfortunately this. So, I hope Shota and Kiyomiya win.
Yeah, I go with them.
Yeah.
Shingo Takagi versus Tamatonga for the Never Openweight Championship.
You know, Shingo was doing some interview today. I saw online saying that AEW gave me Trent Beretta. I beat him. Now I want someone better. Like, why are they just giving me Trent Beretta? And Trent's been tweeting like, "Yo, what the fuck, man? Like, stop." Yet you're facing Tamatonga in your WrestleMania type match. So like, shut up. Because they don't treat you well. You should be their guy right now. You should be in the main event of this show. There's so many guys this guy should be in a feud or fighting with. And instead, they just keep not using him properly. I don't know what the deal is, but anyone who watches a Shingo match, instantly you're like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
And they still aren't using him properly. So, yeah. Shingo wins.
Shingo, I guess.
Yeah. I don't even... Oh, it's an open weight title. It could shock and be a good match, but...
Yeah, I mean, they've been putting more behind Tamatonga as a babyface in the last year, haven't they?
He's still
Tamatonga.
Who is he? Who was he in NXT?
No, you're thinking Hikuleo.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Who was Camacho?
Yeah.
Bishamon taking on Gorillas of Destiny for the
that's
IWGP.
Hikuleo. Oh, and Phantasmo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The tag championship and strong openweight tag champ.
Sure. Any of them.
Okay. Bishamon.
I didn't know this was happening. Hiromu and El Despy one more time.
Oh, because we've never seen this one before.
Look, these two always put on amazing matches, but like they beat it to death. Where they put on like the one where he took the mask off, and like I've watched so many times, so I'm sure it'll be good. But I'm definitely like, why doing it again?
And still two people who I think should be
not
out of this division by now.
Yeah.
Despy,
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ospreay versus Moxley versus David Finlay.
Finley's in this match? David Finley's kid?
I mean, he's the only one in this company.
I can't
for the global heavyweight title.
I mean, it's got to be Finley because neither of these other guys are there.
I think so.
It's so bizarre. I don't know what the deal
Although
is.
Ospreay is there until like February, I think.
Then
and he says he'll still have like matches there.
Yeah, it's weird. Obviously, Kenny and injuries, something happened and they had to change plans of whatever the hell they were going to do this year, whether it was Ospreay Kenny again. Something happened.
I mean, Kenny was only just pulled. Like this match has been
but
down for a while.
When this match was announced, people were wondering like, hey, something's got to be going.
Well, I don't think once Ospreay signed for AEW, they were going to do two AEW guys against each other.
Yeah. This is weird. It's like Will Ospreay and John Moxley one-on-one should have just been it, and that'd get people like, holy shit. But you have to have the New Japan. I don't know why Finley is in. You really hope he shows up in this match, because if he doesn't, he's just going to be where he is now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like the graphic is funny. It's got half Ospreay, half Mox, and then like in the corner is Finley. It's like they even made the graphic. They know this guy is not on their level.
So are you saying Finley?
Because like, yeah, it has to, I guess.
Okada versus Bryan Danielson.
I think Okada needs to get his win back, but at the same time, Danielson's just like doing yoga. He's so zen. He's got a broken fucking eye. He looks like Snake.
And then they'll have the rubber match a year from now in WWE.
Wow. WrestleMania,
Okada Danielson 3.
Book it, Paul.
I think Okada's got to get his win back.
Yeah. That's the real main event.
And then the main event, Sanada versus Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Man, like Sanada just ain't it. Like he's the most boringest champion. So lame.
Keiji Muto agrees.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious. So like, yeah, Naito for the win, I guess.
I guess Naito.
And then he's dropping the title to some young boy like in like 3 months or a month.
Yeah, I'm not excited about this. That doesn't inspire me, this card at all.
I will say,
I'm sure some of these wrestlers will step up and there'll be hidden gems on this show, but really the lowest I've felt about this company for a long, long time.
It's like if we didn't get Okada Danielson already this year, we'd be a bit more hyped for it. Obviously, it will be amazing. I think they'll step it up even from their last encounter. But yeah, the rest of the card is like a bit of a head scratcher, and hopefully going into this year, they fix some of the problems that they had. Like clearly the stuff with President Tana coming in, maybe he'll fix things and change things. I don't know if it will work that fast, but like they've got to change things because like Sonata just isn't it. And that's the main event. Like that's unfortunate. And they have some other key players and they're doing a good job of trying to get some of these younger guys up. But like, I know a lot of people that are casual New Japan. I'm a very casual New Japan watcher. I always watch Wrestle Kingdom because it's become a nice tradition. Even if you're not watching it live, I am going to try I'm working a night shift, so I'm going to try to somewhat watch it. But like, it doesn't have the big flair to it that it kind of almost does. But again, Okada Danielson, just that alone has all my attention. So we'll be checking that out. But it really is the rest of the card that's not doing it for me that much. But we will talk about the results and everything and thoughts on that on Sunday for a little bit for the new Poisonrana we do. So check us out on Sunday for that. But yeah, Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Live.
I think that brings us to a close.
That is it. We've been talking for quite a while, and we appreciate you, whether you're in the YouTube live chat or you're listening on a replay. We thank you. At Poisonrana Pod on X and Instagram. Go give us a follow to stay updated with all the stuff that we do. The Facebook group, like I mentioned. And you can follow me, Braden Herrington, Twitter, Instagram, at the Bray D.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And happy New Year's Evil.
Ahoy!
You got a shit?
Last week on the Poisonrana Patreon, we talked all about the best WWE matches of CM Punk in a brand new episode of Best Match Ever. He hits a sit-out pile driver. I remember screaming when I watched this the first time. This is a banned move in WWE.
Even Michael Cole on commentary, like, whoa,
yeah,
what's he doing?
Punk did tweet out that he got in trouble, like, took some shit, but he's like, they're a load of crybabies. But I think it goes to show, like, we see pile drivers on, like, AEW or the Indies all the time, but when it's, like, protected or banned, it gave this so much impact.
It got a shockwave, Get this show plus NXT retro reviews, wrestling reviews, movie reviews, and so much more over at patreon.com/Poisonrana. And it's only $5, so what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.